Hello and welcome to round 23 of the Nations Cup from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. So there's no qualifying on this race. I actually forgot to save the replay. So we'll have a quick look at the grid, find out where I'm starting in this race. The home of the inaugural Styrian Grand Prix, if you watched that recently. So in first place, Carl Troyer from Spain. And in second place from France, we have Ozer Moel. In third place, Fabrizio from France. And SFP1 from Italy in fourth. In fifth place, God Rider from France. And in sixth place, Wet Racer from Switzerland. In seventh place from the Netherlands, JS774. And in eighth, Casa Elefantes from Spain. Ninth place, Saltzman Cannibal from South Africa. And there I am in 10th place in my GTR. Behind me, Kif 54 from France. And also from France behind him, A. Jourdain in 12th. From Portugal, George CF in 13th. And in 14th from France, X-Wings 13. 15th place from Germany, we had Joe VS 1400. And from the Great Britain, Hazar 01 in 16th. 17th place we have Journeyman from Denmark, not sure. TX40 Ironman from Germany in 18th. I have to check on that last flag. Spain's Petito Feliz in 19th place, and bringing up the rear from France, V77IW. So 10th place. I'm hoping to do. I do like this track. I've driven this track quite a lot. There are some daily races I've done which you can go and view on the other playlist if you've subscribed to my channel. But I'm really hoping to do well in this race. I'm starting 10th, so what can I do? I couldn't do much about the qualifying position, the grid position. That's based on other drivers' times. We had times to do about 4 laps in qualifying, 4 or 5 laps. So here we go, down to the first corner. Traction control is off, medium tyres are on. Only requirement, as someone goes wide, I go wide a little bit as well, but I have gained a place. Yes, gained 1 place in there despite going a little bit wide on that first corner. Yeah, the only requirement in this race is to use hard tyres, so as you can see, I am going to have to stop at least once. So, brake for this, turn 3. Tight right-hander. Someone's gone wide there behind me, so still that 1 place up. There's a small penalty further field, there's another penalty behind me, so nice and clean for most of us, and a place gained as we drop down turn 4. Yellow flag somewhere. Oh God, yeah, someone's gone off there into the gravel. We've seen a few of those go off into the gravel at the 2 Formula 1 races in consecutive weekends, the Austrian and then the Styrian Grand Prix, both from this circuit. Seen a few going off into the gravel there. So far safe around, up 2 places. The livery today isn't mine, it's credited in the description below from the PSN Gran Turismo user. So go and follow him if you'd like to see more of his work. Come around the final corner now to complete the first lap. Fairly decent, up 2 places. So far so good. Got a guy further there with 2-second penalty, up in 6th. Not sure what that was for, but if we're within 2 seconds or possibly a little bit more, because it does have to slow you down and you have to gain your speed again, so it's more than just a 2-second penalty cost. So can I gain another place through that? He's actually in 5th place, the guy with the penalty, I think. good sector there, purple sector 1 at that point. So come around that tight right-hander again. Now where's this guy with the penalty? He's just serving it now. Doesn't look like we're quite, yes, no we are. Are we? Yes. Just close enough to nip past him as he builds his speed back up, so up into 7th. Got someone coming down the inside who's knocked 6th place off. Oh, that was awful. Too late braking. Rammed into somebody, so now we're up into 6th because of him. He's got a 2-second penalty in that what looks like a Concept Citroen, I think it is, possibly car. So no, it's a yeah, it is Citroen. Yeah, we can see that now. So another good sector now. We're up 2 more places thanks to a penalty and someone being knocked off. We've kept it clean. We're driving nicely on these medium tyres as we come up to the last couple of corners to complete lap 2. Now again, it would be really nice if the Gran Turismo Sport people would allow the gaps to the people behind and in front to be shown on this replay footage, but unfortunately you can only see the gaps if we switch at any point to the in-car camera or the camera that I chose to screenshot whilst I was actually driving. It could be the in-car. I use the one on the front of the car. I don't tend to use the in-car camera because it gives you too many blind spots, and the hands that you see steering the steering wheel in front of you a bit distracting. So you've seen in-car footage from me before, and it tends to be the camera on the front of the car. So we've got a guy behind me who's closing in, but he's got half a second penalty himself, so that just gives me a tad more space to relax and pick my own lines and braking points. Right on top of 5th place now. There we go. So can we get past him in any of these turns coming up? So I do like this track. I'm hoping to do really well. The hard tyres in free practice weren't the easiest to use, so the plan is to pit around lap 8 or 9, stick hards on for a lap or 2, and depending on the space around me, maybe pit back for mediums as I get a better exit there out of that corner. And yes, kept the position, kept 5th position there. He's still on the inside of me though, still on the inside. Oh, he just lost the tail end a little bit there. So yes, up into 5th through those series of corners. Nice move, well done, excellent. God rider there just slipping a position in his Peugeot. I think it was a Peugeot RCZ, I think. So up into 5th on lap 4 now, and we're already pulling away slightly. Can we catch the top 4 and gain any more places before the pit stops? The corner where Bottas went off in the first race of this delayed Formula 1 season, down to the infield section where usually we have the Verstappen crowd with all this orange glory, but unfortunately no crowds there and no real crowds here. Obviously we have digital crowd, but no real crowd, certainly not in orange. Down to complete the lap. Are we any closer to the guys in front visually? Let's have a little look. Maybe not quite. We've certainly got a nice bit of space on our own currently to really choose our line, choose our braking points. Bod riders included, even got half a second penalty unfortunately behind me as well, so creates a nice piece of space for me. Well, technically that was turn 2 on that, not quite straight. It's technically turn 2, but the guys in Formula 1 now, they don't even lift it in the dry, so, and I didn't have to lift on that bit either. We don't have to lift in these cars. So the first real corner is, or the second real corner is actually turn 3 at the top there in the left hand corner of the track circuit icon. now we're coming down again to the infield. Don't quite sure if we are a little closer to 4th place, maybe possibly slightly. We've certainly got a bigger gap behind us. A Jourdain has got past God Ryder with his penalty. Now I've got my best lap so far, 32.0. And yes, I believe we are visually closer now to the top. Well, there's our battle for 2nd place really. It looks like 1st place has had a clear run and has extended his lead quite considerably. So I'm just coming up to this gaggle of drivers battling for 2nd. So far a great race, fairly lonely. We've kept clear of much of the trouble, which is the first job in most races. Keep clear of trouble, keep your lines right, and stick on the track. So 31.5, getting faster on these medium tyres. They can do quite comfortably seven laps. If you look after them a little bit, you can get 8 or 9 fairly comfortably as well. So that's my aim for the first, if pit stops, with a 2nd possibly shortly afterwards, depending on any kind of gaps I've got. Sometimes track position is better than having to rely on overtaking with a new different tyre again, but say we'll try and keep an open mind and keep our options open when we pit, after we've pitted. So here we are, this trio of drivers, whether they're slowing each other down because they can't quite take the lines they want with guys right in front of them, but whatever it's doing, it's certainly allowing me to get right on the back of them. Yeah, you can't always take the line you want, you can't always brake at the point you want when you've got guys right in front of you. You have to compromise your line or your braking point slightly for fear of running into the back of them or knocking somebody off. So here we are, right on the tail. Now we've got a better exit there. Are we going to be able to get past Casa Elefante from Spain on the run down? We've got a good exit. We're side by side. We have got the inside line, and yes, he's given me the space. He's yielded the inside line, so that's me up into 4th. Excellent. Yeah, I had the inside line up along the straight into the corner, so he had to give me the room, and quite fairly he did. Great racing. Another position made up. Super. 4th place, up from 10th. What a great race so far. Fingers crossed, long may it continue. So I've done what some of these drivers haven't been able to do, unless they've been switching around their own places on their own. I don't know, I haven't been watching that battle obviously. But now inside line. Oh yes, it's a little rubbing there on the outside, but that's kind of all fair in this. He came for the inside, it left me enough room, up into 3rd. Awesome. Now, while overtaking those 2 guys, Wet Racer has pulled away slightly, as is usually the case when you're battling somebody else. So those guys have lost out a little bit while battling with me. But now, am I able to make any inroads? Am I able to keep the position as we come down again to the final 2 corners? The 3rd place. Coming up to the end of lap 7. I've had some good lap times, consistent lap times, clean laps, all in the 132s. Fastest lap there, 131.5. My fastest lap, not the fastest lap. It'd be in purple if it was the fastest lap of everyone. But no, I'm not bothered about that. I'm just bothered about being in 3rd, up 7 places. We're battling for 2nd. 1st is gone. He's had a clean race with no problem. He hasn't had to battle anybody. He hasn't had to look out, defend his line or anything. So he's gone. He's way down the road. So can I get another place, or am I going to have to pit from 3rd? Which isn't fine. Looking at the little blue triangles on the map, we've got obviously those cars all around me are kind of in that red triangle where I am. We've got 2 drivers a bit further behind, but then after that there's nobody really. So if I was to pit, I'd probably come out 4th or 5th, I would suspect. Possibly 6th, but we'll see. So we're coming round the infield now. at the line right on this exit. You see, there you go, he's left that different, he's got a totally different line through there as Wet Racer. And Casa Elefante is also really closed back up again. We've lost Ozamoel in his yellow, didn't see what car it was, in his yellow car. We've lost him a little bit, he's backed off a bit, he's had an incident, gone off. So, and here we are indeed, Casa Elefante, who I overtook a couple of laps ago, is now trying for the inside himself. I braked first, he's had to tuck in behind me, so he was unable to do what I did, unfortunately. But it's a great race between the two of us, the three of us. What a great race, what some good racing, clean racing, this is great stuff. Now he's come up the inside here, is he going to be later on the brakes at this corner? He's got the inside line. I've had to yield the inside apex, but we're neck and neck coming out. It's interesting. No, unfortunately I think he's probably got it, and there we've got the gaps now, you see. So back to Ozamoel, who was with this pack, is now 3 seconds behind down the road. Trying to pick my way around the outside, but no, just tucked in behind. Didn't want to do an Albon and go off. It's your own opinion of who's to fault. I think it was at best, it was at worst, it was 50-50. I thought Hamilton was extremely unlucky. We've seen other people go around the outside cleanly, but anyway, I'm not going to argue that's each to their own opinion, but I wasn't going to try around the outside there myself. Tucked in behind him. End of lap 9. We're coming in the pits, I believe, in this race, so we don't want to take this corner flat out, because the inside line we need to keep for the pits. So here we go into the pits. We're going to put hards on, which allows us to either finish the race on them. There we go, hards, no refueling, there's no need to refuel. We did enough laps in free practice to know that the fuel lasted without any issues. So where am I going to come back out? Don't look at the positions just yet, because until you get back on the track, it really is not a good indication. It's showing 8th, but as I join the pack, it's going to be 6th. Look, there we are, just behind 5th place. So that's all right. I'm in the top 6 after a pit stop. Now the plan was to do a quick stint, very quick stint on these mediums and put, on these hards, and put mediums back on. But currently, with the driver close behind me and probably 8th place within a pit stop window of me, I'm just going to stick on these for a few laps and see what kind of gap I get. It wasn't the intended plan, but obviously track position sometimes is better than having to run overtaken again. So let's see how this pans out. So the tyres aren't the best. I did stick it on traction control 1 just for this opening lap of hards, just while they get to temperature, just to give me a little bit more leniency without having to rely on any spin-offs. But certainly by the end of the lap I will have turned it back down to 0, which is the fastest option if you can control it. It does allow you to get power down to your wheels and onto the tarmac quicker than any other traction control on settings, but it is trickier to keep that power on and keep you from spinning off. But I've driven a lot of laps in this car, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that won't happen. So now we see we're up into 4th at the moment, because 2 guys have pitted. But what position am I going to be in when they come out? I am going to be in 5th. So Wet Racer pitted from probably his 2nd position, and God Rider pitted from just in front of me. So there we are, back in the top 5 again. Now we have got a little bit of a gap behind us. There's 3 drivers a bit further down the road. They're probably all in my pit window if I was to pit. So I'd probably still come out in about 8th. So stick to plan B. Plan B, keep these tyres on, see how I do, see what kind of gap opens up. Now a lot of drivers maybe sticking the same idea. We don't know as yet. So you can see it cost us about 10 seconds in the pits. The in lap was 10 seconds slower. The out lap was about the same, probably with the hard tyres a bit slower, so about the same. So about 10 seconds we need for a pit stop window to come out in the same position. Now obviously we can't see what seconds we are with the gap. We're just having to rely on the little blue icons, and we know that that's not 10-second gap there for the blue triangles behind me. But let's just see how I do. And we've had some good, we haven't really gone off, we've gone wide on a couple of corners, the first corner of the race and the first one of these corners on the first lap of hard tyres. But other than those couple of little wide excursions on the exits of corners, we haven't had too bad a race at all. Now Casa Elefante's in the pits. Where's he going to come out? He has come out in front of me, but he will only be right in front of me. Up there he is. In fact, they're 4th and 5th. So we've come up against them before, we've raced against them before, we've overtook them before. I think we didn't overtake Wet Racer actually, but we definitely overtook Casa Elefante, and Osamoel doesn't look like he's pitted yet. Now hopefully when he does pit, he'll be behind me, if indeed he does pit. He might be doing the whole race on hards, but they'll be very, very slow and not very grippy at the end of the race, if that is what he is doing. So 1:33.0 on these hard tyres. It's not a bad time, not a bad time at all. The only time the hard tyres are really tricky is when you come out of a really slow corner in a really low gear. So we're looking really at that top hairpin, turn 3. It's probably going to be the trickiest corner on these hard tyres. So far so good. And we're comfortably, I'd love to see some times, I'd love to show you some times, see how we've got gaps wise. But we're certainly comfortably in 5th place, and we are having a great race from 10th on the grid. We're on lap 13 now of 19, so we've only got this and 6 more laps to go. So I did a bit of quick maths there. This and 6 laps to go after this one. Now it does look to me like we are closer to these guys now, or certainly one of them, if not a few of them. And I say the top 2 as of yet haven't pitted. Casa has overtaken Wet Racer there into that corner. So are they slowing each other down again while they're battling like they did earlier, allowing me to catch up? This is really giving me a good opportunity for a really good finish here. So I really do like this track. I was really expecting to finish well here. Let's hope I can keep it clean on these hard tyres for however long I choose to remain on them. Obviously the fact that Osamoel hasn't pitted, if I do pit again, that's going to give him track position in front of me if we both made one more pit stop. Now Godrider behind me is pitting, he's coming in on his mediums, and I don't think we're going to get to see what he comes out on if he disappears but further than 8th place, which indeed he has. So that now has opened up a bit of the larger gap behind me. That's good. And here we are, closing in again on battle for 3rd. Just a reminder again, the top 2 haven't pitted yet. Osamoel was behind me when I did pit, a good 3 seconds behind me when I pitted. So assuming we're all kind of racing and travelling around as we were before, I'm still doing 131 and 132s even on these hard tyres. So assuming he pits and assuming everything else being equal, you would think he's going to come out behind me 3 seconds behind me, there or thereabouts. But again, not seeing these blasted times, gap times, we can't tell exactly. So that'd be nice. That'd be a top 4 place then if he does. Is he even on hard tyres? Is he going to pit? We don't know. But what I do know is his hard tyres must be coming to the end of their life now, unless he's managing somehow to... Oh, here we are. Here's a race. We've got 8.8 seconds, 8.9, 9 seconds we've got behind me. That is almost a pit stop. We've come out 1 second behind 6th place if I pitted. I'm not quite sure why I really haven't pitted as we come down the inside there, but we braked a bit too late, unfortunately. Oh, that allowed him to take his nice line. So a good battle there. No collision, but just a bit of an exit, wide exit, as I braked a bit too late into that corner. But this is such a... Well, it was a great battle with these guys, Kaza, Elefanti, and at the moment Wet Racers. We take the inside line there, but we've gone a bit wide again. So we wait to put our foot down, and no! Even without putting our foot down, we still managed to lose. Oh, damn it! And that, oh, even trying to accelerate in a straight line, and this is what happens with no traction control. It's awful. You've seen me have problems before setting off. Oh my god! Now I'm down in 9th place. That's a disaster. Ah, that's an absolute disaster. I was battling for top 4. And just going wide into that turn 3, even without putting the foot down, even without gingerly pressing the throttle, it still spun me round in the off the track where there's no grip, there's marbles maybe, whatever. Oh, what a disaster. So now I'm back in 9th. Still got 4 laps to go after this one, and I'm stuck in 9th. Now I can't believe for 1 second I'm going to get back up to the top 5. All these cars in front of me. Oh, why didn't I pit? Why didn't I pit for those mediums that were so reliable? Kicking myself, absolutely kicking myself right now. Now I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place. If I pit now, I'm going to lose even more places down to 11th. As you see, there's 2 places, 2 drivers, 2 blue triangles behind me. So I'd definitely lose a place, 2 places if I pitted again now. But what do? Do I risk spinning off again? Do I pit? Do I carry on go? Oh man. Oh, I'm so angry with myself, the game, everything. There was no collision. I just went a little bit wide, but I didn't put my foot down. I didn't try and floor it from the outside. And how many times I've gone around that corner successfully, even with these hard tyres on. Oh, damn it. So we had a guy in 10th right behind me, but he had a second penalty. A 1 second penalty, not a second one, but a 1 second penalty. So what can I do from 9th? That's only up a place from my starting position. That's not good at all. Not good at all. We can't realistically pit without losing a further 2 places, which would put us outside the top 10 and lower than where I started. But equally, we're really not confident on these tyres, especially up in that corner, and especially if I'm battling for a place. It'd been so much easier. In fact, look how much I lost. 20 seconds in that incident on the last lap. 20 seconds. A pit stop would have only cost me 10, and I'd be on nicer tyres to finish the race with. Why did I not just come back into pit? Oh dear. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battles I did have. I hope you enjoyed the positions I got up to. I hope you enjoyed my racing. Maybe you even enjoyed me going off and spinning around and having a good laugh at me trying to get back going again. But there are 3 drivers up ahead, all close together. Now, is there any chance in these remaining 3 laps that I can close on them and gain a few places? Is there any chance at all? We've seen me overtake, not on the hard tyre necessarily. In fact, the only time we'd come to overtake on the hard tyre was when I actually went off. But is there anything remaining in this race yet? Oh, I'm so angry, so disappointed. "20 seconds, and I was battling for 4th and 3rd at one point. Unbelievable. Well, we've had a lap and a half so far since the incident without any further incidents. We're back up to the 132s again on the tyres. So was it just that lack of grip off the track? I mean, you can go and watch it again. I've watched it myself many times, and I didn't floor the throttle. I tried to gingerly put the throttle back down until I got back on the track in a straight line, but there was just no grip off the track limits. And then, of course, trying to get going again, well, that's just unbelievable. You know, you're in a straight line and you're he still managed to spin the car. I'm not quite sure how that happened. But still, you guys have your own verdict. You might like to make some comments on how long you laughed for when I did it. You might make some comments as to why you thought it happened in the first place. Maybe you've got some comments on how I can improve any, I don't know, track lap times or overtakes. But you can see now I've gained on Saltzman Knievel from South Africa. He seems to have dropped off those other two. They were all together at one point. So we're looking around now, just had a little nod. We're looking on the inside. Oops, sorry there. He just didn't accelerate quite as quickly as I expected him to. A little nudge at the back. So fortunately I didn't knock him off the track. We're still racing. Now maybe he's losing levels of his grip. Maybe he's been on the hard tyres far longer than I have. I don't know. But am I going to find a way past him? As we really are sticking with him through here. Can we duck down into one of the corners? Are we able to close in? And we're having a look. You see, we're having a look. No, not quite there. Yeah, that one. Through this final corner onto the long straight. Am I going to get a slipstream into the first corner? Oh no. Ooh, a tiny bit ragged there. Actually, I've lost a tiny bit of ground to him now. We will still get a slipstream being this close to him. We will still get that slipstream. But then so will the guy behind us. Now here we go. So there we go. We really got that first corner nailed. But we were so close and we really had to almost take evading action there to avoid hitting him again. So toe up the hill to this corner where I went off a few laps ago. Now which side am I picking? He's going the inside. I'm going to go the outside this time. So we've got the apex. And what happened there? Didn't it? I was on the track that time. Why on earth did I spin there then? I clipped the apex. I was straight enough, I thought. What happened there? That's another 2 places lost, and somewhere along that I've even clipped the indicator. Oh dear, this race is turning out to be awful. I've had 2 incidents at turn 3. And that was on the final lap as well. I'm going to get 10th place back because somebody's had a little incident himself there. He's gone off the track by the look of it, slowed himself down. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. He's got hazards on and he's completely greyed out. So maybe he's had connections problem. Maybe he's just paused his game so it just auto drives him back. I don't know. So it's going to be 10th by the look of it. I've got 2 corners to go and I've got no one around me. 2 incidences cost me a top 5 position. I'm so disappointed in myself with that race. I don't quite know what happened. Certainly on that second incident I was on the track. First instance maybe I can blame the grip off the track, but the second one I'm not quite sure what went wrong there. I should have been in amongst the top 4, top 5. Certainly there's a 9-second gap there between 4th and 5th. I should have been amongst that at the very, very least. But never mind, that's racing. We all make mistakes. It's all a learning curve. Hopefully I'll gain experience from that. Hopefully you enjoyed the race. 23 points for the championship. And so far, despite that, so far after this race, this second race of the day, I think it was fastest driver in the UK. So thanks very much for watching and hope to see you next time.